Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Mahishwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Asanastvaya here on The Way of Dharma 108. Today our topic is going to be about spiritual cleansing. Why do we need to constantly do spiritual cleansings? What is the purpose for that? And what will happen? And what are some of the results of spiritual cleansings? You know, oftentimes when I look at this channel, The Way of Dharma 108, I've shared so many secrets, and I did it with no filters and censors. Basically, it's only now I've come to realize that I've shared so much knowledge with you guys, and some of this knowledge is actually quite vital, and it's basically valuable. So this is also a video where I talk about such secrets to enhance your life through spirituality. It's a very, very overlooked subject pertaining to spiritual matters. It's most overlooked, and it's the most, if not one of the most, it's the most valuable information that you need to know as a beginner. As I was initiated into this path by certain various gurus like Brother Panic, Bobby Hammett, and our black African leaders from the Western Hemispheres, I overlooked so many things due to their teachings. They were not speaking from a basic level of understanding. It's like my spiritual initiation started from the deeper subjects of occult and spirituality back into the minor. So it's like I started from going deeper, and then it's only now that I'm coming to the basic practices. And with that, I've noticed that I've overlooked so many things in this spiritual atmosphere that I was basically vulnerable to so many things, basically. And basically, I'm grateful to the gods, Mahadeva. I'm grateful to Shri Devi Bagalamukhi. I'm grateful to the Hindu gods. And I'm grateful to the ancestors. I'm grateful for my magical practice. I'm grateful for this incarnation, basically. The numbers that are on my path. There's certain frequency of energy that I embody. I'm grateful. I'm forever grateful for that. So now let's talk about the benefits of spiritual cleansing and why do we do such spiritual cleansing. I'm thinking of doing this as a short video that will have a remainder part of it in the new members section. I'm thinking of doing that. I'm thinking of publishing the whole entire thing for public view, and I'm also thinking of putting it in the members section for people to join the members section and actually derive benefit from this knowledge. It's a very, very vital knowledge that we have. So basically, I want to start first by saying this: physical hygiene on a physical level is quite it's underrated, basically, and it's overlooked. Take this for example. If you have a tummy or a colon which is dirty, there's certain yogic postures that you can sit in and maintain due to the fact that you are not comfortable. So you can't sit in Siddhasana for long periods of time because now the waste that's in the colon makes you heavier makes you more inert, meaning you are not susceptible to change, makes you more of a thinker, a rigid thinker, not much of a flexible thinker. It brings you down to the earth element, basically, further subduing your air element. And as we know, air is quite responsible for our mind. Very, very powerful element. Very, very powerful element, never to be overlooked. The elements, the basic magic stuff, never overlook that stuff. Anyway, let's move on. It brings you back to the earth element. You become grounded, you become inert. So on that level, you don't have flexibility of mind. Without flexibility of mind, your consciousness cannot expand to a certain degree because you can't accommodate, or rather, you can't digest information. You can't digest excrement, which is in your colon and larger intestines. So you can't also digest higher information and knowledge. You also cannot digest food that is new, that is coming into your system, because that excrement, it's blocking you from digesting any new kind of food. New food simply relates to new information, and this I've heard before while the brothers were speaking, that nutrition is basically genetic information. So basically that's what we were doing, that's what basically we were doing. So with that being said, food food is basically, okay, I need to speak to this person, but I'll speak later on. Basically, food is information that we digest into ourselves. So this information cannot be digested while there's older information, which is symbolized by the excrement in your colon. So that physical hygiene is also vital. Not taking a bath means you will simply smell. Simply smelling will evoke feelings of depression and sadness upon you. Your skin, it won't be able to stretch, your pores won't open, so you won't be flexible even on that aspect. Your pores will be blocked, and then you'll be anxious, basically. Spiritual benefits. Now let's talk about the spiritual benefits. So your body is composed, or rather your soul is composed of several, if not more than several, subtler bodies. You have the astral body, you have the physical body, you have the spiritual body, you have the causal body, the mental body, so on and so forth. These bodies, they don't live by physical. Instead, the physical is being animated by these higher subtle bodies. It's very, very crucial and vital to clean these higher bodies, to purify your spiritual existence. Okay, what am I saying? These bodies, they are subtle, basically, number one. Them being subtle, it's very, very hard to see the works of these subtle bodies as a physical being, from a physical standpoint. So you have these bodies, you are not conscious or aware of them. They are your unconscious, basically. So you not being conscious to them, you are vulnerable to a certain degree. You understand? So not practicing spiritual hygiene would mean that there would be things that are dirty, of a lower vibration, that are attacking you, and you would not be aware of them because of your spiritual body, your physical body, basically. So what do? You walk around, your body is comprised of so many highly susceptible to vibrational highly susceptible to vibrations composition, basically. Your body is largely water or liquid, more than soil or whatever hard substance you would think of. Or yes, water as a good conductor of any frequency and vibration. It stores information, it stores vibration and energy. It's much easier to curse or to bless someone with water than it is with any other substance on planet Earth. So you being water, you are susceptible to receiving and storing any kind of vibration, whether positive or negative. So now, in our society, in our environment, there's so many contributing factors. Number one, there's action movies, violent action movies. Number two, there's your neighbor looking at you with envy, with hatred, and there's jealousy. We go to schools, there's people that hate us over there. There's people that have their own vibrations of thoughts that have issues in their lives. We absorb all those energies. People at the workplace, there's people who bully us at workplaces. We absorb that. There's people who have their issues in workplaces. We absorb that. The entire globe on earth, everyone in the world is basically frustrated to a certain degree due to what? They are not satisfied of how they are living. They don't know their true self. We are susceptible to that. Our environment, it carries a spiritual frequency, both negative and positive. So all that is absorbed into us because we are water and we have also subtle bodies. So subtle spiritual frequencies, whether negative or positive, they have a subtle influence on us. And let me tell you something about things that are subtle. They will always control your life. Things that are subtle will always control your life, basically, because they arise from a higher force, which is subtle. So the unconscious mind is also a higher force because it's subtle than the physical or logical side of the mind, basically. It's vital to purify the subtle. It's vital to always vibrate higher on the subtle because that's what determines your physical, gross, material existence. So we absorbing those energies, they stuck at different points of our being, different points of our celestial bodies, basically. On the lower celestial bodies or the psychic centers, the root chakra, we have negative traits like that of survival, the predatory spirit of kill or be killed, eat or be eaten. We have such characteristics. So similar vibrating thoughts would want to attach to that specific area. We also have greed. It attaches there. We have lust. It attaches on the second chakra, basically. Negative emotions, basically, wanting to be possessive, they all relate with the second chakra. And the reverse is also true. The opposite is also true about positivity and negativity. The positive side of life also attaches and harmonizes in those two psychic centers. So we have the third one, which is the psychic center of power, the city of jewels, Shri Manipura, where we have things like pride, ego, dominance, willpower, and all that stuff. The similar vibrating thought forms or the similar vibrating energy, whether negative or positive, it attaches there. Then we have the heart chakra, which is responsible for opening up the heart, being happy, positivity, love, and expansion of consciousness in the aspect of love and unconditional love and fidelity in relationships and all that stuff. Both negative and positive vibrations also attached to that psychic center. We have what? The throat chakra. This is where you can't express certain pains about your life, when you can't speak out against your oppressors, people that want to talk bad about you, basically. All those internal struggles relating to speech and relating to suffering inside, not being able to vocalize, not being able to be eloquent in your speech, all that negativity gets stuck here and it blocks the movement of your psychic centers. Okay, then we also have the third eye, the area of Agnya. This is where we get divine knowledge. This is where we get clairvoyance and clairvision. Clairvoyance, basically, it's not me being able to see visions. Clairvoyance is me being able to see that this person is trying to run game on me. This person wants to take me out of this position that I am in to benefit for themselves, basically. Clairvoyance is someone trying to swindle me and me being aware before they even come next to me. Me being able to read their vibrations as they approach me, basically. And then there's sensitive people who have the spiritual eye, which is something entirely different, basically, which is one of the psychic powers, basically. The beginning point of clairvoyance, it starts as that I've mentioned before. And then we have what? The crown chakra. This deals with the highest vibration on earth, basically. So the third eye goes with not being able to discern, not being able to basically have that inner vision and also imagination. So if you have poor imagination, poor discernment, all that attracts vibrations that are similar to that, and then it attaches on your third eye chakra. The crown chakra is the highest. If you are blind spiritually, it will be the lowest chakra, vibrating chakra, meaning since that it's the chakra of being all-knowing, expansion of consciousness, getting out of samsara and liberation. The opposite is true. You will be enslaved in bondage in this physical realm. You'll be basically trapped in samsara. You won't be able to be higher in your consciousness. You won't be able to expand your consciousness. This is true. So this negativity also attaches and vibrates on that psychic center, which is the crown chakra. Then you become slow. You become slow in your spiritual practice. You start to become slow, and then you stop practicing eventually, basically. The psychic centers, they all have these attachments that place themselves over there on your spiritual bodies because they correspond to the different spiritual subtle bodies that we have. So as they attach there, they do what? When you are a thinking person, you think from that angle, you think from that state of being. When you think out and send out thoughts from being that state of being, we call it karma. So there's a constant back and forth between you and the universe, attracting that negativity and further perpetuating that negativity in your life. So if you don't do spiritual cleansings, unfortunately, you will have that in your life, that negative karma. So basically, you will be having jealousies of people, you'll be having greed of other people through television, them trapping you to buy chicken licking, gluttony. You'll be able to basically crave things that you wouldn't crave. If you are into addictive behavior, the celebrities, they can also influence you into going into drugs. You'll end up perpetuating that existence only because you didn't have a cleansing when it was required. So now your soul is polluted. You are constantly living in a negative cycle of life. Spiritual cleansings are vital. Exorcisms and banishings are very vital because as I've just mentioned, those subtle bodies. Your environment also has those subtle bodies. Your house basically also has those subtle bodies. Your ashram has those subtle bodies, and you strengthen those subtle bodies by spiritual practice, by doing regular exorcisms and banishings to purify that environment and spiritual space basically. So there's people that walk in your house, they carry lower vibrational frequencies. With them, there's certain spirits, because these things take a form after a certain time. They become thought forms. They take a form and they become spirits that literally live. And then when they live, they come with these people into your vicinity, into your yard, into your ashram, or wherever you would allow them. When they come in to your house, they attach onto you. So now they are destroying you. They come with, you will come, you will visit me, you will come with these entities, I'll send them back to you. And then you will definitely need a spiritual cleansing when I'm done with that. Thank you to Devi Mahapratyangira for helping me in the countering of witchcraft and black magic. These are the things that I've learned while working with Devi Ma. So there's another person who was speaking in the, well, I don't think you are worthy of mention. It's fine. So spiritual cleansings are very, very vital in our spiritual journey. You go to work, people are jealous of you. Suddenly this energy is overwhelming you. You feel like you are out of place. You feel like you don't deserve to be there. It's because of these thought forms. One thing about witchcraft, it's as simple as this. You taking the thought of another person and perpetuating it with your life. Living out another person's thought is actually witchcraft. If I live out another person's vision, I'm under a spell of witchcraft. So when you live out the jealousies of other people, the envy of other people, they are actually sending thoughts to you and you are living them. If you cleanse, you are not susceptible to that. I thank you all. I love you all. Please continue to support the way of Dharma. Please do comment in the comment section. If you are a troll, I'm not going to answer you, because I've also developed a site for such people. If I reply to you, I will disarm you psychologically. It will be coming from that. I'm not an evil person, but with trolls, I can disarm them psychologically. So if they come, they'll get an answer which is suitable for them, basically. So thank you, Om Namah Shivaya, Asanas Fire here on the Way of Dharma. I have courses that I offer to you, which are mantra chanting courses. This is for the serious practitioner. These are very, very powerful courses. People often ask why mantras don't work, why certain practices don't work for them, especially regarding mantras. It took me a while to get to where I am now. And this came about as a initiation of Shri Guru, which is Jupiter. I went through an initiation last year. It's only now that I partly have a glimpse of what mantras are. And I'm telling you, this is a very, very beautiful path. Very, very beautiful path. So if you want to enhance your magical skills, your magical ability, this course is definitely a must. Another thing that you must not forget, it's been a while since I've been practicing mantras. What you see when you look at me now, unfortunately, you can't attain from going into the courses. You'd have to go back and practice. at least for half the time that I did, because now you would have the information at first hand. So I do offer those courses at a fee, of course, at a fee. Those of you who are in South Africa can reach out to me for this course. I'm telling you, what you see me doing right now, you won't be able to do that in the first month of the course. You'd have to do it at least half the time that I did to see what I'm talking about. You can't take out money and expect to be at someone's level who has been practicing magic for quite a while. This I've realized with my students. They think the way I am right now, you can just buy it with money. Unfortunately, the courses that I'm giving, I'm not transferring any Shakti to people. I don't think I'm fit enough to do that. I'm not a guru, but I can show you pointers on what you can do in the form of a course. And then if you practice at least half the time that I did, you'll have results like those of I am, like those that I have basically. So I offer mantra chanting courses, very, very powerful. I offer numerology courses, very, very powerful. Crystals and gemstone courses, very, very powerful. I offer magic training courses, very, very powerful too. I don't want to talk too much about my practices because I've realized it's quite a danger what we put ourselves in by practicing the occult and by simply being beginners and new on this path. I can guarantee you there's power basically. There's power. I've watched my life change in the past years. I've done things that I couldn't even imagine in the beginning of the spiritual path. I'm at a level which I could not conceive before. Anyway, this is not about me. I wanted to talk about the benefits of spiritual cleansing, and now I find myself talking about courses, but I do offer courses and I also offer spiritual tools. Also, I have to review this book next time when I see you. It's a book by Baba Credo Mutwa. It's called The Zulu Shaman. Zulu Shaman, Dreams, Prophecies and Mysteries of the Zulu basically. It's very, very hard to find as a physical copy. I'm thinking whether I should sell it or not. It's a very, very powerful book though. Anyway, please do contact me at arsonist.fya@gmail.com. That's my email. If you want to enroll on any of these courses that I mentioned, please make sure that you do email me. For those of you that comment and say that you want help, but then I give you my email and then you don't speak for any kind of reason, I think you're trolls basically, and I think you are doing just what I've been speaking about. Whatever spell that you are under, you are constantly perpetuating it every day. You see, with me now practicing spiritual hygiene, I'm at a point whereby even symptoms of flu, I do a spiritual cleanse. Now I need to speak more in depth about this I can also do that in a course about protection magic. You just have to link me up at the email asanas.fya@gmail.com. There's just so much about that aspect of magic that we are overlooking. Anyway, with that being said, I'd like to thank you all. Om Namah Shivaya, Asanast Fire, here on the Way of Dharma 108.